We are live betting for breakfast, our Wednesday night golf betting show brought to you by Heat Ratio Sports Network. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm Mark Drumheller. I'm here with Dave Gleckner and Chris McGinnis coming off a wild Wells Fargo weekend where I'll be honest, I had some of my bets in the trash, had to dig them back out after Bryson came back from Dallas to pour it on and get into a top 10. So we ended up in the green, had a little bit of a roaring comeback on my bets and cashed in with the live Rory play. So it was nice to see him take that one home. But Dave, crazy week at the Wells Fargo. How did you make out overall? Oh, he's frozen up. Chris, I'm going to pivot to you real quick. We missed you last week. You were not here last week. You were somebody who backed Rory in previous weeks. You were waiting for him to have that breakout, for him to come around. What did you think about Rory coming through?
It was exactly what I was hoping for about 2 months ago, but it didn't come together at that time. But look, you got to give the guy credit. He found a way to get that swing back under control, maybe stop trying to hit it as far as Bryson. And he played like Rory. I think Rory McIlroy is a player to watch moving forward. He's the guy who I took as a Masters winner way back when, and I probably would have gotten better odds as the Masters approach because he wasn't in good form. But, unfortunately, if I was on the show last week, the two guys that I did love the most that I didn't get to share with the audiences was both Victor Hovland and Rory. So it would have been a nice weekend for me overall from a prognostication perspective. But we have a good tournament coming up this week. I'm happy and excited to talk about our picks.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Dave, back with us. Dave, how did you make out in the Wells Fargo?
Yeah, not bad. With my matchup, Ron was coming strong, but just missed the cut. Missed him. But yeah, like Chris, loved Hovland, loved Cam Davis, loved Joaquin Niemann. All of them had a push late. They were in the mix in the tournament. Hovland finished in the top 5. But Rory, hey, that's a course for Rory. I just didn't have it in to pull it because that's the first course, drive course, class course, Rory's won there before. His form just didn't fit right, but if you got him, man, you got him right time. And we'll probably talk a little bit about someone that's similar to Rory in a few minutes here, how this could shape their game going forward.
Yeah, still breaking up a little bit, Dave. Let's kind of pivot off and let's start with the Byron Nelson, AT&T Byron Nelson this week. And this is a much different course as far as what we've been seeing, Chris. And I think, we've went through a couple weeks of where we've had these really challenging courses, right? It's been challenging. And for me as a sports bettor, it's been challenging to handicap like who's going to be able to step up, based on the difficulty of these courses. So, now we get a little bit of, the other side of the coin here with the Byron Nelson Classic. I think it's, supposed to be a very wide open course. And I think that, we're going to see probably, 20 under par, 25 under par win this thing.
Well, it's certainly possible. And I think when you run into a situation like this and you're coming to a weekend like this, I think the first instinct, sort of the knee-jerk reaction is to just jump on the favorites, right? Just jump on some of the superstars. If it's going to be that easy and if someone's going to go low, you expect it to be them. But, heading into this weekend, that's not exactly my strategy. There are some favorites I like. I mean, how do you not like guys like Jon Rahm? I mean, he's one of the best players in the world, but these aren't the guy. That's not the type of guy that I'm looking for this weekend. And I think, Mark, you and I have a lot of similar picks this weekend for a lot of similar reasons.
We do. We were kind of talking about it offline, and I was very specific in the type of golfer that I wanted to back this week. There were a lot of intangibles I look into. One guy I went to last week did not help me out so much. He's been through a little bit of rough patch, but I expect him to come back. Dave, let's talk about the course a little bit. Now, this is a course that a lot of people are not going to have a lot of familiarity with.
Yeah, so I switched to my phone. Working better?
Perfect.
Really good.
Right. Yeah, got to fix that Wi-Fi in the house, but got that 5G working. Hey,
there you go.
TPC Craig Ranch. Yeah, you're right. Not many people are going to be familiar with it because it's a new course for this tournament. Played down in Texas. The things we've heard about it, I've read some stories about caddies walking around the course already. It's wide open. And what they mean by that is that these drivers of the golf ball can take a lot of different angles, can just grip and rip. You're not looking for necessarily accuracy off the tee, even though there might be some areas, yes, you got to hit fairways, but these guys can get aggressive. They have big greens down there. So what they're going to be looking for is guys that can, hit it, but also guys that are really sharp with their approach game. Everybody's going to be able to get that ball out there. Maybe not some as far as Bryson and others, but really who's tucking it close, who's making those putts, because these greens are also very big. So you don't want to just sit there being left with 50, 60 footers. It's going to be a grip it, rip it, and, a good iron player's course, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. A couple people checking in. Adam checking in. Good evening. Great show. And, of course, Dan Green from Flyer and Ice. I'll tell you, Flyers got a lot of work to do in the offseason, but those guys over at Flyer and Ice, when you subscribe to Heat Ratio Sports Network, you'll get notified every time they go live. They're digging into the NHL playoffs right now, so lots of good stuff coming up on the hockey front.
Well, but Flyers didn't make it. Flyers didn't make it. They won that last game. They didn't make it.
I'll tell you, man, the Flyers are like on and off, man. Hot and cold. They're like Fire and Ice, to be honest with you. One year they're hot, one year they're cold. So,
and then what are they good? They win the last game and actually look half decent, so everybody.
Yeah, you go out on the right note, you fight, whatever. But they got some work to do in the offseason, that's for sure. Chuck Fletcher has his work cut out for him. But Dave, when you talk about the course, right? It's one of the things I looked at is birdies are better because there's going to be a ton of birdie opportunity here on this course.
Yes, you're so right. I mean, we're seeing numbers that we think are going to get in the 20s. Again, there's not a lot of trouble out there. It's just you're going to see 8, 9, 10 unders on certain days. So you're right, birdie percentage. I love that stat that you just talked about. Scotty Scheffler is one who's shooting 25% of his holes are birdie or better in his last 24 rounds. So stats like that, I think, are key to this course as well. Good point.
Yeah, and I think you're going to have to putt too. In order to get these birdies, I think putting very difficult. There's a ton of variance and volatility with putting. But, I think you're going to have to bring that element to your game because it's just people, like I said, people are just going to be getting, birdie after birdie after birdie. And if you're 2-3 putting it, man, you're going to be tough. You're going to fall behind early. It's going to be tough to catch up. Chris, what are your thoughts on the course and what type of weekend can we see? If we had to handicap this, let's do this. This could be a little bit of fun. Let's try and predict how many strokes under the winner is going to have, and we'll see where we land. Who wants to start off with that? The winning score.
25.
25 under? That's what I was thinking, dude. I was thinking it might be around that.
That's a good guess. I'll play a little bit of Price is Right.
You're going to do Price is Right?
Yeah, 24.
24?
I'll take 24.
I'm gonna go 27.
Oh wow.
I'm going to go 27. I think it's going to be crazy. Can you imagine? I mean, I just think that, listen, there's a lot of the field's strong. These people are gearing up for the PGA Championship. I'll guess 27 under. I'll go the other direction. So we got 24 and 25 and 27 under. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and it's going to be a lot of fun to live bet.
Oh, yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah. Those holes, that live betting that Chris and me like to do, if I'm down and just watching one afternoon, that's going to be fun playing who shoots better on certain holes, no doubt.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine if the scoring is this prevalent, there's going to be a lot of movement day to day, hole to hole. So, some guys might be able to slide up from slide into the top 10 pretty quick on the last day. So the live betting will be very important. Yeah,
if they're getting 10 under in a round, forget it. I mean, there's so much volatility that can happen towards the top. The matchups are going to be fun. The matchups are an area where I was doing so well. And then the past couple of weeks, it's funny because last week, I had a good week. I hit Rory live. I got Joaquin snuck into the top 20. Bryson snuck into the top 10 all on Sunday. So I cashed all those tickets. I ended up in the green. But I could have done a lot better if I didn't panic and play so many matchups because I thought my Bryson ticket was trash. I thought my Joaquin ticket was trash. So I started playing all these matchups, and I ended up, I think I was 2-3-1 in matchups, and I kind of took away from my initial outrights, when typically it was the other way around. Like if the outrights weren't going well, I would try and supplement that with the matchups. So I'm going to go with a little different approach this weekend. I'm going to try is the key word. I'm going to try and take it easy on the live matchups, but we're going to see how that goes.
Nice. I get it, man. Sometimes you panic a little bit. You see some negative dollars coming back in your returns, and you want to just try and get back near even. But man, it's pretty cool when you get a guy like Bryson make it at the 24th hour and have to fly back and play what off over the weekend. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, what a go ahead.
I was gonna say this is a goofy story. Just a goofy turn of events. Yeah. Wild 24 hours for Bryson.
Wow,
this is unbelievable.
Yep.
But I knew when I saw that Instagram post that he went home and he came. And listen, I'm not going to lie to you. Like I typed loss into my spreadsheet on my Bryson bets. Like I thought he got cut too. You know what I mean? I was just as bad as Bryson. But when they said he was flying back and his tee time was at like 8 a.m, I was like, oh, he's going to go off. Like I knew it. Like I knew that was going to be the Bryson story. Now I didn't know if he'd sneak back in the top 10. I wasn't that confident, but I knew he was going to go off on Saturday, just off pure adrenaline and coming back. And I'm like, this is just how it always happens.
No doubt. So hey, he's live this weekend, right? People are going to love him this week.
I think
last week.
I think so. I mean, it's he's definitely going to be able to rip it. That's for sure. But let's do what we do, right? Let's talk about these bets, what we have lined up for, the Byron Nelson Classic, AT&T Byron Nelson. Who wants to start with the outrights? Now, Chris, I know we're aligned on a couple. We're thinking about this thing very similar. Dave, I think you're veering off the path, so I'm going to give you the breakfast ball. I'm going to let you lead off.
Yeah, and we're leading right off to where we kind of just talked about. My lead dog in this race this weekend is Bryson DeChambeau, and a little bit is what's in form, and a lot of it is just the fact of the matter what we talked about with the course and how it shapes up. He is 9th overall in birdie percentage on the tour, which of the guys I'm looking at this week, that's second best. I think his Rahm might have a little bit better of an iron game right now, but Bryson's a little better putting. And I just like the way he finished last week. I like that he knows what's at stake next weekend in Kiowa with the PGA. I think this there's something about Bryson. He wins on these like courses that are very similar to this when he can turn it into his own playground and just grip, let it roll. And I don't think he runs away with it. But I really like him. I think it's going to be a good tournament. A lot of top dogs in this. It's going to be a good one over the weekend. But with plus 800, the way he's playing, birdie percentage better, top 10, give me Bryson.
Nice. Bryson on the outright. You playing him anything else? Anything you playing him top 10 or top 20 or just going outright?
No, I'm going to play him top 10 minus 125. That's just like picking a football game on a weekend to me. So, I mean, for him to be one of the top 10 golfers, the juice isn't terrible. I will play him top 10 as well. I'm not going to go top 5. I think there's a little too much volatility when you get to the top 5 there. And then, between 188 and 120, it doesn't do me a ton better. So give me that little margin. Yeah. I'll take top 10.
Well, especially if they're hitting minus 25 or 27.
That's it.
Top 5, you know what I mean? Like 23 under, you might be out of the top 5.
Right.
But Chris, what do we got? Let's fire them off.
Yeah, David, I don't blame you for going after Bryson. I mean, at plus 800 for the way the course sets up for him, he's probably the safest bet in the pack. So it's an awesome pick. I'm trying to find the viewers maybe a little bit more value, just with some little bit higher odds. I know Drums and I are a little bit similar, particularly from the Texas golfers' point of view, the college golfers. But I think the one guy that I have that Drums does not is Matt Fitzpatrick. I'm sorry, just 1 second.
Fitzy.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick. So, look, right now, and basically the 3 guys that I'm picking as overall winners, and 2 with top 10s and 1 with the top 20. The theme, other than the 2 other guys being familiar with the course, is these guys each. It's just a matter of time for the win on the PGA Tour, and we've been waiting. And Matt Fitzpatrick is one of the 3. And look, let's just face it, he's in ridiculous form. He's finished 11th or better in 5 of his last 6 tournaments. He's second in the field in strokes gained putting over his last 36 rounds, and his 13th in strokes gained tee to green over the same stretch. and he's driving the ball really well. So, you put all those things together, like I said, he's going to win. It's just a matter of time. And I think this might be his chance.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a solid play. I'm going to start with one of my favorites, on the outrights, and that's Jordan Spieth. And I got Jordan Spieth at 11-1. I'm playing him top 10 at plus 100, so it's even money for him to get in the top 10. And listen, I know he doesn't have a ton of experience at the course, right? But he debuted at this event, the Byron Nelson, different courses, 16-year-old, tied for 16th at 16 years old. And listen, he hit for me at Valero. He's top 3 at the Masters. He has 5 top 5 finishes in his last 7 full field events. 5 top 5 finishes in his last 7. So he shot a 68 under par in those 7 events. So if you total up his scores, 68 on, not a 68 average, 68 under par in those events. Completely dominating. I know people are worried about the COVID thing. He's saying he's coming off COVID. Read an interview today. He said he's completely fine. He feels like it never happened. He felt like it never happened as of 10 days ago. I heard another one where they quoted him where he's saying he's going to be knocking the rust off a little bit. But that doesn't concern me, man. When you're dialed in the way Jordan Spieth has been dialed in lately, I just have to take him here, 11-1. Like I said, I think top 10 plus 100 even money. I'm all for it. Jordan Spieth is my first play.
The pretty cool stat about him. He's won every tournament before a major this year.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Wow.
I hear that too. Yeah. So it's like he won't be taking it easy.
Yeah. And by the way, I hit the ball. Sorry, look, I hit the ball on my pick a little bit. So Fitzy's 18-1. I've seen him both 18-1 and 20-1 as an outright, and as a top 10, he's plus 188. So those are my 2 plays for Fitzpatrick. So sorry about that.
No, that's cool. I really like that top 10 at plus 188. That's a pretty good price.
Yeah. And if we're moving on to the next guy, do we all have Scotty?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I do, yeah. So let's do we want to go with Scotty, or Dave, you want to fire one off?
I can fire one off. Let me and then I'll let you guys give me the case for Scotty, because I'm one of Scotty's number 1 fans. I love Scotty, and just like you said with Fitzpatrick, win one's coming soon. But my guy, I even feel better about this pick than Bryson, is Daniel Berger. He's the guy I'm going to play in my one and done tournament. I love Daniel Berger this week. He's just he's that guy that has the all around game. He can bomb it. He can putt. He's Mr. T to green. When I wrapped up the stats that I was looking at, I'm looking at strokes gained approach, green regulation percentage, and birdie percentage. He's 23rd, 16th, and 5th in birdie percentage. The only person better than Bryson in my group, respectively in those categories. Then you look T to green, he's 35th in strokes gained T to green. He's just that all-around really good player. Won Colonial last year in June. He's been playing with really good form. He's taken off a few weeks here recently, but won earlier this year as well. He's 17-1. I just really love Daniel Berger, and he's my guy this week. I expect him, if I'm picking one to hold the cup up at the end of the week, top 10 plus 150, I'll also be playing.
He's a silent assassin, I feel like. He's always kind of in the mix, you know what I mean? But you never really, he kind of gets brushed over by some of the bigger names, but he's very consistent, always in there. Could definitely see him paying off this weekend. Love it. Chris, I'll let you start. We're going to talk about Scotty and why he's going to put cash in our pockets.
And before, real quick, just say what's up to Al. Al, thanks for checking in, bud. As always,
our guy Al Griffin, man, does great stuff with Heat Ratio Sports. Half court heat, going to be a lot of fun with the Sixers coming into the playoff push, man. Can't wait, man. Can't wait. Go get it done.
Yep.
Another guy who's going to get it done, Scotty Scheffler. Chris.
Yeah, I think he will. And like I said when I was talking about Matt, the theme here for my picks are this guy's going to win eventually, and he's going to win soon. And it's Scotty Scheffler. Coincidentally, like Fitzpatrick, I've seen them both at 20-1 and 18-1. So if you shop around a little bit, you can probably find a little bit better odds if you like Scotty as much as I do. And his top 10 is actually the same too. I've also seen him at plus 188. So the odds on Fitz and Scotty are exactly the same. And and look, he's inside the top 20 in strokes gained approach and strokes gained green to tee. He's also, in the top 10 on tour in birdie percentage or better. So that's something that Dave's been pointing to, and I like it as well. He's also really excellent with greens and regulations. When you're looking at par fives, and he's going to be extremely popular this week. And I'm all for it because he's a Texas guy and he has familiarity with this course. It's a newer course of the tour, but he's played it. And like we said, over the past 2 tournaments, he's been absolutely killing it. He was excellent at Valero in Texas. He was excellent at Valspar. And I think he's just slowly but surely going to win a tournament. And I think this is another one for him. So I'm taking him as a winner at, 18-1 and top 10 plus 188, just like Matty.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Chris. And it's funny you mentioned you see it at 18-1, you see it at 20-1. I got it at 19-1.
Nice.
And I got top 20 minus 125. So they're the 2 plays I have with him. And again, Texas boy, I'm Team Texas this weekend. So that's how we're doing it. But he can bang it off the tee, man. 15 strokes gained off the tee. That length is going to play in this type of wide open course, right? You talked about how he makes birdies, 7th in the field, and birdies are better. Top 10 greens in regulation, top 10 in par fives as well. I just think that he fits this course like a glove. Irons are hot. Gained 2.9 strokes on approach at Valspar. So listen, everything's on cue for him to really show up and have a big weekend. I'm ready. I'll tell you, man, at Team Texas, hook 'em horns, whatever you want to say. I'm ready to lasso some cash in with Scotty Scheffler. I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. Spieth, Scheffler, and I got one more in the holster. Dave, what you got?
Listen, guys, I love the pick. It just seems like too easy of a.
It seems too easy. It does, right? I know.
Yeah. It seems like the broken record, doesn't it? It seems like we've said this before.
But all in, love the pick. I'm going to stick with another Texas guy. I got 2 more, and they're both going deep into the holster now. I gave you one square with Rahm, one mid with Berger. Now I'm going Ryan Palmer, another Texas guy, plus 4,000. His game, again, similar shapes this course. 14th in birdie percentage. 30th in green and regulation percentage. He's 49th in strokes gained approach, so he's an all-around solid golfer here. A guy that's been hanging around the top of the leaderboard in a bunch of tournaments. Last year, I think we had a winner that was off Sung Kang, I think, last year. You're seeing some winners here, and you just don't know how this is going to put up. But when you're 14th in birdie percentage, and that's what we're looking for when we're trying to get, right there in the top, in the minus 20s, Palmer's a guy that can pump them in there. So with a plus 4,000, top 20 plus 150, I'm playing both. Give me a 40-1 guy with a little love on the top 20.
I love it. Trying to strike oil with Ryan Palmer.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, if he hits, man, that's gonna be a very, very nice payout. So the last guy, I got another Texas guy, very familiar with the course. Chris, I think you're on this guy as well. I'm going to start. I'll start, and I'll kind of let you kind of touch on that as well. I got Will Zalatoris 25-1, top 20 plus 130. Listen, he's coming off a dismal missed cut, right? I bought the dip with him last week. I'm buying the dip again. He has to come up and play and come up big here. He's played at TPC Craig Ranch 100 times as a junior golfer. 4th in strokes gained approach. We talked about how important that is. And the other thing, too, is he has to be highly motivated here. He needs a win to qualify for the FedEx playoffs. I'm all in on Team Texas and Willie Z, man, and that's my third outright. It's go big or go home, and I'm going Texas.
Same here. Like we were talking about Rory in the beginning of the show. Rory was a guy who I sort of started to fade away from simply because I went after him a couple of times too early, and I did the same thing actually with Zalatoris, and I missed out on an opportunity to really cash in on him at the Masters. And he missed the cut last week, and everyone's probably disappointed with that. But look, the guy still has 5 top 10s in his last 15 tournaments. He's an excellent golfer, and just like Scotty, just like Matt, just a matter of time before he wins. I'm not missing out on it. I love the fact that he's from Texas. I love the fact that he's played this course a million times. And I kind of love the fact that he missed the cut last week. I think maybe that brings a little extra motivation to just, absolutely just tear that course up.
Brings a little extra odds on that price, man. You know what I mean? It's going to be bigger. True. The odds get a little longer after you miss the cut, and that's what we want to see with Willie Z. But I agree with you, man. I think that he is prime, and I think he has to come in here motivated. I think that that's a big factor, and he's just so comfortable with this course. And one of the things we want to watch out for with this course, we talk about how it's wide open, how it's going to be easy. We're talking 20 under, 25 under, 27 under if you're crazy like me. And if it starts to get windy, it's going to get tricky. And I think that's really where you're going to see the guys that have played there, like Zalatoris, really start to shine. So I'm hoping, Mother Nature blows a little smoke in that direction, and we can get a little wind so our man Willie Z can, beef up my sportsbook account for sure.
I'm all for it. And him in the top 20 might be my favorite bet of all my bets. I love him in the top 20.
I got 130. I was happy with that number for sure.
Absolutely.
Because I got Scheffler at I think minus 125. So those two will balance each other out. It'll be almost even money. And I got Spieth top 10 at even money. So I'm sure I'll win all of them, right? That's what we do.
Everyone.
Dave, what do you got? Listen, you got another one you're striking oil on, right? You're another long shot.
Yeah, I got to throw a fourth out there. Very long shot, but he's a fan. It's a guy that we've kind of had a little fun with in the past. But I can't get away from the numbers. The key numbers this week, this guy strikes them all. He might even look better. He looks better than Bryson. If you're just looking at numbers, he looks better than Zalatoris. And that's Gimbo Slice. My boy Doug Gim, the Reaper.
The Reaper.
He's 10th in strokes gained approach. He's 20th in green regulation percentage, 33rd in birdie percentage. This guy, there's a course that fits somebody, and he's actually pretty long off the tee. He's not that accurate. But we already said you don't need that much accuracy. I'm getting a guy at plus 7,000 that really puts up some decent numbers that fits this course, 70-1. Even more in love with the top 20 plus 188. So, Gim was there at the Players, a course that people can shoot, good scores on as well. Has some par fives that you can reach. He's shown he can compete. Maybe it's time. Maybe he can take those experiences to the next level.
I'll tell you, I love the Gim Reaper, man. And if we get, here's the thing, dude, this is where your bet becomes real valuable. If we get a little bit of wind, it might blow the putts in. Then we'll be in really good shape, right? If we get the right wind, it's going to blow the putt right in there. He's not going to be 3-putting. So, I love Gim, dude. I would love to see him take this home. To be honest with you. It would be pure comedy. Yeah, it would be great. What were the odds you got him at?
70-1.
Oh, man.
And plus 188 on the top 20. I mean, like I said, the numbers just match this course. I think I'm betting the numbers more than the player here. But I love the guy. I hope he does well.
Yeah. I got one more that I did not play outright. So let me change the banner here. I don't want to mislead anybody. This is not an outright, but I did play him top 20, and I like his form. And that's Schwartzel. I got a plus 225 for top 20. Listen, he was 26 at the Masters, right? But he shot a 74 on Thursday, right? So he was 2 under the rest of the way, which would have put him around 12th. I know you got to play all 4 rounds. All 4 rounds count, right? But, bad Thursday, then very, very impressive the rest of the way. Then he comes back. He gets second at Zurich, right? Louis lets him down, right? Louis, he was completely carrying Louis out there. And, of course, at the end, Louis blew the whole thing. And then 21st at Valspar, 14th at Wells. Difficult courses, right? So now life gets a little bit easier for Schwartzel. He gained 6.8 strokes on approach last week. I think he's excellent form for 225. You're talking plus 225 for him to land in the top 20. Sign me up. I was all over it. I don't think he'll win the thing. I did play him outright, so maybe he will win the thing. I'll look like a big dummy, but I'm all in on plus 225 with Schwartzel.
Him versus Ricky Fowler is the matchup on DraftKings.
Love it. Bang it. Smash it. What are the odds?
Minus 130.
Oh, man.
That's easy. That's the matchup for the tournament.
I already said I was going to take it easy on the matchups, and here you go. Real in the end. That's an easy one.
Before you guys jump in the matchups, if you're going to jump in the matchups, I have a bit of a long shot too. Not as an outright, but as a high value top 10, top 20 guy. And there's not a lot of advanced stats to back it up, so it's not a real long explanation, but it's really just based on last week, and it's Luke List.
Yeah.
Like we talked about the course, we know he can bomb the ball. We know he can strike the ball. The interesting part about last week is when he sort of struggled on Sunday, his putting is what saved him. So if he can bring that game to this course, he can compete. And at plus 450 in the top 10, plus 240 or 250 in the top 20, there's just a lot of value there. So I'm going to put a couple of shekels on Luke List for the top 10 and the top 20.
Nice. I like it.
I do too. I actually went back to back on list on the matchups last week. I was really down on my outrights. He ended up winning for me on Saturday over Stallings, and then he lost to Gary Woodland on Sunday. But I
He's
definitely
also
like it. I think he's playing well.
he had a little bit of success at this course on the web.com tour too in like 2012. So he has some familiarity with the course as well.
Nice, very nice. So I think that does it for our outrights, right?
Yeah.
Do we have anything else as far as any other matchups that we like? Round one leaders. I almost dabbed on the round one leader, but I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. I kind of got off it. Like I just don't know. Like I'd rather play. I thought about playing Schwartzel round one, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to play on top 20. I felt like that was the better number, the better bet. So I don't know. Do you have anything on the matchups, round one leaders, actionable props? What do we got cooking?
I'll throw one dart. I like the best Australian to be Mark Leishman. He's plus 150. Aussie. I just like, listen, I mean,
you just like saying Aussie.
Yeah, him and my boy Cam came up big a couple weeks ago, but really Drums, you remember Chris, you were watching it? He was the better player on Sunday. And he's starting to play a lot better. Now his stats, I wanted to take him as like an outright, but 59 strokes gain approach, 69th green regulation percentage, 111 birdie percentage. It hasn't been a great season for him, but he's been playing better of late. And then you look at a guy like Jason Day. I just never know where he's going to be at. That was like my Justin Rose theory the other week. He could pull out, Friday and just say, I'm done. So I'm getting a guy that just pretty much got beat Jason Day. I'll take that. I like Leishman. I think he plays well in wide open, high scoring courses. So.
Yeah, I like Leishman. I don't think that's bad. Or at least you could get a can of Foster's. Watch your boy Leishman.
Love it.
Yeah, I don't know what else you guys have. I don't know which David. And I have one weasel pick, and it's the type of pick that I hate making, but I think it's a good pick.
Go for it.
Go ahead, fire away.
So it's a to miss the cut pick, and I hate miss the cut picks. But I think you're gonna like the reasoning. It's not so as weaselly as most of these picks. So Matsuyama not to miss the cut to miss the cut plus 250. He hasn't played golf in a month. He's been doing the Masters Tour in Japan for 30 days, and he's just getting back on tour. I think missing the cuts is a possibility. He's tremendously talented. He could probably make the cut not playing 3 months, but
yeah,
I think miss the cut's very possible for Matsuyama.
And that's good odds. I mean, 280, right, is for him to miss it.
250.
You got it. It's 280 right now on DraftKings.
Keep going.
Regardless, it's great odds. I mean, whatever you're getting it at, right in that area. I'm looking at the board now, and it's crazy. I mean, if we had to pick one of the top guys to miss the cut, the biggest surprise, who do you think it would be?
Ooh, big name to miss the cut.
What about Rahm?
No.
Do you think there's any chance Rahm misses the cut?
No. Last week was the first. He had the longest streak on tour of not missing the cut until last week. I don't see it happening twice. I couldn't roll the dice on. That's not good enough odds for me.
I'm not looking at the board, but the one guy who I would maybe make a bet on would be like Spieth. Another guy just hasn't played. Maybe he comes in, just has a bad Thursday or a bad Friday, and just somehow messes it up. I mean, I'm not guessing that, but
how do I mute your mic? I'm on speed. Don't do that to me, brother.
I'm not betting that he'll miss the cut. You said
last time that happened,
pick a bad name. You said
I'm like, I love Justin Rose. I got all this backing, and Dave's like, no, I got him to miss the cut.
I'm not advocating for the miss the cut. You threw a question out there. I'm just trying to
Next
play
thing
the
you
game.
know, he shoots like an 85, and I'm like, whatever, dude.
Who is Dave's pick? Oh, Bryson. Bryson's probably gonna miss the cut.
Yeah,
I'll take
it's like plus 5,000 for him to miss the cut. A better chance. They should have Bryson miss the flight. Forget about miss the cut.
Oh, Dallas, he'll drive there in the Bryson mobile. He's not far away. I don't know.
What about Koepka? Plus 225.
That's not bad.
Listen, like Koepka is like one of the guys I was going to talk about just for a hot second. Like that could be your Rory this week. I mean, he's that kind of guy that he's dialed in for a major. He could put a little bit of weight into this one to actually try. I'm playing him in a matchup, but I wouldn't take him not to miss. I think he's going to make the cut.
I read in a report that he still can't squat. That
That's-
he's still banged up.
Mhm.
And last time I was kind of, I was down the rabbit hole in the conspiracy where I'm like, maybe he's not that injured and he's gonna come out and win and we're gonna get great odds here. And I was way wrong. Like he obviously looked hobbled. And now he's back. And so I'm kind of like afraid to. It was almost like burn me once. I'm not going to fall for it again. And maybe he does rise to the occasion and he is healthy and makes me look foolish. But that was kind of where I am with Koepka. I'm like, dude, if he's still hurt and he's still trying to like power through this, like if he has a bad Thursday, he just might be like, hey, I'm done.
Well, and that's so really what I'm playing him. I'm playing him as an outright round one leader at plus 4,000 and round one matchup over Sergio minus 122. I think he shows up Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is a different story.
You're right. Yeah, you're saying right because then it wears on him physically and then he kind of breaks down. I can see that. Yeah, round one leader. That's not bad. What are the odds on that?
40-1.
40-1. Look at that.
I put a little slice on that. Little slice.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I like that angle.
Yeah,
but here we are rooting for a bunch of people to miss the cut, like a bunch of bums.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much.
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah. The only other one I got is I do like Luke List. Chris talked about it earlier. I like him as in his group or in his tournament matchup. He's a 120 over Charles Howe. I just like you said, Chris. I like his game at this course. I like how he played last week. I think the pressure on Sunday just got to him a little bit, and like you said, it was an odd day for him where his putter actually showed up. So in this course, he can just let it fly, and he's better than Charles Howe in a course like this. So minus 120. I like the tournament matchup there.
Cool.
Nice. Luke List getting a lot of love.
Yeah.
He can smash it.
He can. He really can.
He can smash it. And I think it's funny because it's like like I said, the past couple of weeks they've had these difficult courses, and now you're just going to see these guys light it up. And I think it's going to be more fun because there's going to be more volatility. And these guys are going to be in it constantly. You know what I mean? Like they're going to be able to move up the board, real quick. I feel like. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good weekend. I'm a little. I don't know. I don't have much going on just for tomorrow. So I'm kind of like, that's a little different vibe for me. So my main goal is going to be just not to like live bet everything.
You're going to have to make a budget just for Sunday. You have to have a special budget, the Sunday budget.
Yeah. So that'll be the key. It's just to kind of calm down, sit back and watch it play out. But I do think it's going to be an awesome weekend. I'm excited. Can't wait, man. It was good to get back on the winning side of the ledger, with the Wells Fargo, especially because it looked so bad for me early in the week. But those guys came through, man. Bryson, never out of it with Bryson. So it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be another strong performance out of him. And then we have the PGA Championship after that, right?
Yeah. Kiowa Island. And let me tell you, I took a vacation there a couple of years ago. Can't wait to talk about that course next week. But Rory won there. In the only other major tournament held there. Ryder Cups have been played there. It is just an awesome, awesome course. I can't wait for it next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun talking about that one, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it is because a lot of people are going to be showing up in good form after this week. I mean, this weekend is really going to get everybody on track and get everybody excited. So I can't wait for that one. We have to go a little extra long on that one. Maybe we'll start that one a little early at 9 o'clock since it's the PGA Championship. But listen, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, we're all hitting these bets all weekend, making some more money, staying on the right side of the ledger, keeping our sports book account balances where they should be. And that's the numbers going up. That's what we want to see. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. We will be back next Wednesday night, 9:15. We'll figure it out, but right around this time, so you can get in your bets for Thursday. But that is going to do it for us. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe Heat Ratio Sports Network, and we'll see you next week.